Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be going over how to properly change strings on this here classical guitar. Stay tuned. Welcome back, and today our test subject is a classical guitar that I've owned since about 2007. This is a manual Raimundo Constructor Series guitar from Valencia, Spain. And it is model number 146, or actually serial number 146. These came in fairly small runs. Not sure how many he made total, but this has been my number one classical guitar. This is what I used in music school the most, once I got it. And yeah, haven't really done a lot with it recently, and it still sounds not quite in tune, but still sounds half decent. I can't remember that. Anyways, doesn't matter. So we're going to yard the strings off this baby, and we're gonna set it up with some brand new strings. Now I have a whole bunch of different strings down here. The ones I'm gonna use are these guys. Oh, you can see them in there, nice. These are savarez Alliance Quorums. It's going to be a high tension string. I prefer high tension. I just play hard, I guess. Anyways, and this particular set has the Alliance trebles and the Quorum basses. So these are a polished bass string, and the trebles are actually a carbon-based string. So it's not a gut string or any of the traditional classical materials. It is a more modern design, and these things sound wicked. So this is what a lot of the concert players use and have been using for a long time. I'll just product showcase mode there. There you go. And yeah, they're just a good string. I have no idea what's on here right now. I just know for a fact that these are not these. So these are something else. They could be D'Addario, they could be something else. But when I put these babies on, it's gonna sound quite a bit better. So let's get to that right away. All right, now there's a few key things that with classical stringing, it's not as straightforward as a lot of guitars. So what you have to do specifically with these is just make sure they're actually tied on in the right place. As I'm looking at this, it actually looks kind of sloppy. I'm gonna do it much better this time. It really depends where you tie them on. The way that these are set up, they have a bridge that literally this, the bridge itself is loose. It's not even connected to anything. It just sits in its location. And the strings literally go through, see if I can get it in this camera over here. Yeah. So the strings literally go through this wooden plate down here, and there's a hole for each string along both sides. And as I start putting the strings in there, you'll see why it's important to load them up the way I load them up. I also do things a little different on this end over here. Well, it's not quite, there it is. On this end over here, which I will show you after as well. But yeah, this is done fairly well. I just don't like how it was done on the bottom end. I will also show you for fun what happens if you do it wrong. So stay tuned for that. It's super exciting. 100%. Like, nothing about this will be boring at all. I mean, seriously, I'm changing strings. How much cooler does it get than that? Lots of different string types. I just particularly like these ones. And I've tried a lot of strings. I was actually the string dealer back in my college days. So I bought strings and sold them to all the students. Because basically our teacher used to do that, and then he decided, I don't really like doing this anymore. So for some reason, that was something I started doing. So anyways. All right, so first we want to loosen the strings. Okay, I like to loosen them just so that when I go to cut them, they're not going to fly like crazy. If you cut them under tension, it just tends to have a little bit of a, I don't know, it puts a bit of a shock on the neck, and I don't really like doing that, especially with a classical guitar. One thing to keep in mind is with a classical, there is no truss rod that you can adjust. So yeah, it kind of has to be right, and it kind of has to stay right, and if it's not staying right, then, well, you're screwed, and your guitar doesn't really, I don't know, it's going to need some work, and it's probably work that you or I can't really do. So it's fine to take it into a luthier at that point, but prepare to pay money, because it's not going to be cheap. Hey, check out this wicked new camera view. I don't know why I didn't do that before, but whatever. Okay, so we're just going to yard these babies out of here. Very classy. Now, apparently, I'm seeing 4 minutes on there, so maybe I might have to cut this and, you know, actually put in a new memory card or something. I don't know. Something like that. We'll see. There's going to be so many cuts on this thing, it doesn't even matter anyways. You know what I mean? The Million Faces of Kevin. Now that's the stuff that nightmares are made of. Okay, so we got that there. Okay. Now with these, the way that I wrap the strings around is a bit unique. I haven't seen too many people do it this way. I do it this way for a very specific reason, and I will show you why as we go. But what I actually do is I end up putting the string through the hole 2 times. The main reason for that is because then it won't slip out. It'll actually stay. And as we go along, hopefully you'll see what I mean. If not, then I'm just not explaining it well. But it's helpful because basically, especially when you get into the non-wound strings, man, do they slip. And I will show you that later on. You know what I mean? All right, tools, come on, give me a hand. There you go. Oh, deadly. Sweet. Not just the many faces of Kevin, you're actually hearing some of the voices too. My condolences. Oh man. All right, and yoink, come on, get out of there. This guitar here is completely bone stock. I have done nothing to it. My other classical has got a few modifications like tuning pegs and stuff like that. But this one is exactly as I got it. And if I remember correctly, this came from a music store that doesn't exist anymore. But it used to be a store in good old St. John's, Newfoundland. Can you even see what I'm doing? No, not really? Okay. Suffice to say, I'm just yarding out these strings. Just pulling them out of there. You know what I mean? Because once we got them out, then we can actually do something. And I'm pretty sure that 1M means I got 1 minute left. Let's change memory cards. What a pain in the arse. You know what I mean? I'm definitely saying a lot of, you know what I mean? You guys are gonna think I'm like, I don't know, stuck on sayings or something. And then next video I'll have something else weird. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, the reality is there's probably gonna be like 3 people that see this video. And then that's it. So even though I have this whole thing pulled out, it still doesn't want to come out. That's a sign of a string that's wrapped in there very well. Which of course means it's not going to slip. And once I start getting these on there, you're going to know what I mean, because they slip a lot. There we go. Okay, memory card change. You guys like the shirt? You should check out Lee Armitage's channel. He's a cool dude from Yorkshire. And yeah, just a fun guy. Go check out his videos. Okay, so overall, frets might feel slightly rough. I can deal with that after. This guitar hasn't got a lot of love in a lot of years, unfortunately. But now that I'm starting to play again a lot more seriously, it will be getting just that. So with the strings off, just give it a wipe down. If you've got some sort of finishing, all right, and then I use this stuff here, which is product showcase mode. Oh, gotta love it. Bore oil. So this is basically for stringing instruments. It's basically for wind instruments. So if you blow it out your arse, you might have some of this stuff. Anyways, you probably find it at a music store. So yeah, I just like to juice this stuff on here. I might be able to see that, maybe, yeah. Somewhere like that. Okay. I just throw some on every fret. A little more on these ones because they're bigger. Then what I normally do, and this is what I do for a lot of guitars too, by the way. So on electrics and so on, and I'll just rub it into the frets, or rub it into the fingerboard. And like so, very carefully. Just juice her right in there. Try to get it as close to the frets as you can. Try to, cover the whole thing. Get all the wood. Because what you're trying to do is not just clean it, but you're also trying to just like moisten it, And I don't quite have enough for my liking in this area. The less that this has been done, the more you probably have to do this because the fretboard is just drier. So if you gotta put quite a bit on, no big deal. My experience, there's never any such thing as too much. Like ever. I've had it where it's just sopping wet, and it dries somewhat quick. Some people use lemon oil, some people use, specific products. Ernie Ball makes some products, and Dunlop and other companies like that, but I just use this stuff. I've had this container of bore oil since probably, I'm gonna say 94, 95, somewhere back then. Some of you guys might not have even been born in 94, 95. Old fart right there, you know what I mean? Okay. Alrighty, so she's good and getting juiced up there. Now, I suppose I could have done this before it was all covered, but I like to use a nice dirty old toothbrush. Very dirty. And just give it a wipe, because these, there's always some buildup of something on the frets, around the frets. So I'm gonna just give it a good old cleaning. Nothing crazy. Then when I'm done, it looks mint. Okay. Oh yeah. This is a very messy camera angle. Holy crap. Look how messy this is. Jeez. Just destroying the place here. Is that better? Oh, better-ish. Not really. Anyways. Good enough. Okay, and of course this is a string winder. If you guys haven't seen one of these, then you're probably not much of a guitar player, I'm thinking. Because these are kind of important. They really speed up the process. And good old set of side cutters, you know. Oh, I just love that product showcase mode, you know. It's wicked. I'm gonna overuse the crap out of that thing. But anyways. Okay, I think we are ready to start putting some strings back on this sucker. You know what I mean? Oh, she looks mint. Forget that glare. There's no glare. You can't see any glare. Come on. All right. And now, time to rip open this pack and get some strings going on this thing. Now, of course, with classical guitar, like a lot of typical electric sets and so on, what you'll find is there's 6 strings. Unless you play gent or something, then you're playing on an 8 or a 9 or a 10 string or whatever. But yeah, so 6 strings. What we've got is 3 wound strings, 3 not wound strings, 3 just trebles. And they actually, no, they don't really give them to you in order. No, anyways. That's what one of these packs looks like. Hopefully you can read that all right. That's the E string, the high E, and this is the, that's the D string. Good enough. Okay. So I always start with the bass side first, and what I do specifically is I follow the sequence that we have up here. Man, I gotta work on that camera angle. That sucks. You know what? There's a lot of stuff on that. Okay. Now we're ready to go. Now you actually might be able to see this thing. Okay, so if you notice, we have the low E string here. Now let's just say I was to put on this. Oh man. We got a low E string here, and if I was to put on this D string, it'd be a real pain, because then how the heck do I put on the string that's before if I've got a string strung over here? So you really have to go in order from 6, 5, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then you're good to go. All right. So hopefully you can see this okay in this camera too. So I'm grabbing the E string, the low E. Okay, now with this, there's a couple of things to know. First off, there's actually 2 ends to the string. So we have this one, 2 ends to the string, duh. Anyways, so there's this one that's just sort of typical, if you can see that. And then there's this one, which is a bit unique. Now, not all string manufacturers do it this way, but this is how Savarez does it. So you can see there's a section on here, right in here. and it's not wound as tightly as the rest. That's there on purpose because then that allows you to bend it much easier, and that's very important when we get down to here. And you'll see why in just 1 second. Okay. Gimme. Okay. I'll be okay in a second. No, really. Maybe. Probably not. Probably not. Okay. So, hopefully we can see okay. Maybe we can see better on that one. Probably. Okay. So, I'm going to take the string with the bendy part, and I'm going to insert it in the hole down here. It's fairly rigid on the end, so it allows you to feed it through the first section. Then you can actually grab it out of there, pull it through, and you don't have to be super specific about exactly how you do this. In the end you do, but what I do is I just bring this guy through here somewhere, something like that. Now, the key here is if the point where the string that's looped through meets the other part of the string, if that happens on the top of this section right here, it will slip off. However, if you can bring this section that you wrap underneath, if you can bring it over the edge so that on this horizontal surface here-ish, on this horizontal surface, vertical, if where this goes under the other part is on the vertical part, it will actually stay no matter what, all the time, every time, and not slip off. That's how you get a string to actually stay. So let me show you how that works. Okay. Right, so again, I'll wrap this under here. Hopefully you can see it without my big goofy hands being in the way. And so something along the lines of that. We'll bring this under the other part here. Come on, get it. Okay, so we brought it underneath. Now, if I was to just pull tight here and have this section go over this section and do so on the horizontal part, it will slip off. So I need to make very sure that what I'm doing is I'm pulling this down, and I like to hold this here like so. So I will show you here, and maybe we can get a little close up on that guy. Oh boy. Don't show my light. Come on. Show what I want to show. Okay. So anyways, hopefully you can see that. I have the string going down and it's on the vertical section. Okay. So then as I start tightening here, I'm actually going to hold this in place like so. Hopefully you can see that. And as I pull, it tightens naturally. But what you'll see is a lot of times, especially with this string, you have to sort of give it a bit of a push. But it starts to do that, and you'll get one nice looking loop. It looks nice and clean, and as long as this part goes underneath on the vertical plane, you're good to go. So I can pull as tight as I want on this, and it's not going to slip. Okay. That is how you properly tie on the bottom for the basses. Stay tuned for the trebles. It's really exciting. Like put your beer down. It's super exciting. Okay. Now, on to the next part. Oh yeah. Oh, okay, that's good. All right, so I try to line all these up so they're facing up. Very exciting, I know, right? Like, why wouldn't it be exciting? I'm restringing a guitar. Okay. All right, so again, this is the end that is just straight. There's no funky wrappings. It's just standard. So with this one, I'm not gonna wrap the bass, the low E through twice. I feel like on this one, it doesn't really matter because the string's thick enough. So I'm just gonna set it to a reasonable tension. I don't know if you can see how much I have there. Probably something like that or so. I give a little bend like that. And then I'm just gonna start cranking it in. And with these, hang on. I don't wanna go that way. Yeah. Just making sure. Okay. So I'm gonna go like this, and I do wrap it in a pretty specific way. I'll do this, and I'll show you. Okay. So if you can see that there. Oh, can you see that? Hopefully, maybe, kinda. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing the string. I bring the string through the hole, then I wrap it around halfway, then I keep the string on the outside edge for that half wrap. Now I'll keep going. And I'm gonna switch sides. So now I'm gonna go onto the inside. So, okay. So if you can see that, all right. So I went on the inside, now I'm going on, or sorry, I went on the outside, now I'm going on the inside. And I'm gonna continue tightening. Ooh. Go back to my good old string winder, because it's way faster. Oh, that's a nice bassy tone. And just keep this going true there. No, didn't go quite right. What I'm struggling with here now is I'm trying to make sure that I'm on the correct side of the hole. So I go on one side of the hole and then the other side of the hole. And then as I'm tightening, it makes sure that the string can't slip out. That's the key. It's a real pain when the strings slip out. Okay, so continuing on, crankaroo. Now it's just gonna automatically go on the right side. Oh baby. Kinda close, not yet. But you notice, it's gonna sit there and just drop in pitch and drop in pitch and drop in pitch. That's just how she goes until they stretch properly. And what I always do with the strings is I will take the string, I'll hold it here so it doesn't slip off, and I'll get a good grip and like literally stretch it quite a bit. Sorry if that was loud and obnoxious, but that's just me sometimes. Now it may seem like I'm being a bit abrasive, but the key thing is you gotta stretch these suckers. Until they're actually properly stretched in, they're just gonna keep falling and falling and being out of tune and being out of tune. So normally it takes about an hour once you get this sucker put together. for it to actually be able to stay in tune. So suffice it to say, if you were playing a concert and you wanted to be ready for that concert, you should probably change the strings the day before. Mind you, if you're gonna be playing a concert, why are you watching my video, man? Like, for real? My information is that useful? Maybe, you never know. Hopefully it is. If it's not, maybe it's entertaining. Maybe you just like to laugh at my my pain. But I do enjoy this. I used to change strings a ton in school. So you learn the tricks, you know? And I want to share those tricks with you. Not those kind of tricks, but like tricks, like ways to do it better, you know? All right. String number, sorry. There we go. String number la, right there. String la, right? The A string. String number Sanko. Okay, so again, we're gonna take the end that's all floopy floppy and it's not wound as tightly as the other end. And that is what's gonna go through the bottom. So we'll go back up to this camera up there. Feed it through. I'm going to wrap it around again, and I'm only gonna go once. On the basses, you only have to go once. Trebles, completely different. I'll show that to you after. Oh, okay. Just gotta get it through once. Okay, so I'm through. Again, has to be on the vertical surface, not the horizontal, the vertical. As long as it's there, it will stay. So now I've got it tucked back there. I'm gonna hold this over here, something like so. Give it a pull. It's not gonna go amazingly. I gotta do this a little bit. And that is much better. As long as this is behind there, you are good to go. And man, that's a pretty looking string wrap. All right. Now the boring part, winding it on there. But again, I'm gonna do it the right way. And I'm gonna do it a little different on this one because, not that this one tends to slip, but it's just, you wanna make sure. So I leave, you know, a little bit of string, there. Maybe even a little bit less. I should be okay there. So what I'm gonna do is, on this one, I'm gonna take the string that I put through the hole, and then I'm going to put it back through the hole again. So like, oh, fingers in the way. Oh, look at that. Okay, so I'm gonna put it through the hole again. So you'll see it there like that. I'll pull it through. That's pretty good. I don't want to pull too much because it'll start pulling this one. So I kind of want to pull in both directions, top and bottom, and get it reasonably tight. And then I'm going to wrap it in a very specific way. So what you'll actually see now, if you can see that, all right, so you can see that goes over, it actually goes through, comes out, goes up and through again. So I'll wrap it a lot like I did this one. I'm gonna end up by wrapping on the outside first and then switch it over to the inside, and you'll see what I mean in a second. Oh, she went on the wrong side. These may seem like small things, but I can assure you they're not. In the grand scheme of things, putting that little bit of extra care into this means that you will get a proper playing instrument until the strings are dead. Which unfortunately on a classical is quicker than you'd like it to be. Okay, so after the first half wrap, I have this. And apparently Discord wants me to know that somebody's there. Okay, so now I wrapped on the outside. Now I'm gonna wrap on the inside for this half wrap. Yeah. Turning over to the inside. Okay. Nice and bassy. Okay, so let me show you that as well. So you'll see that there's 2 wraps on the outside and 1 now starting on the inside, and I'll continue to wrap it that way and we'll bring it up to concert pitch. You can see that there, hopefully. You see that? Maybe, sort of, hopefully, maybe. Okay, perfect. And now we'll just, wow, sounds mint. Okay, so I'll just show you a real quick close-up again so you can see how it looks now that it's kind of where it needs to be. So something like that. You want it to look along those lines. Okay, so now let's monkey with this for a second. So that was like almost a whole step down. Now we're around E. I'm just doing it by ear. I could be totally off. Maybe that's D. I don't know. E flat. Somewhere. And by the time I do this, oh, stretch it up. Okay. Ooh. Oh boy. Whew, really dug into those, man. But they're still stretching. So don't be alarmed if they seem to be stretching forever. They will. Beautiful. Okay, on to the next string. And realistically, this one won't be any different than the last one, so I'll just go through it in fast motion, slow motion, fast motion. Fast motion, that's it. But first, oh, that's a string right there. Okay. Oh, and don't forget. Don't forget, you want, oh, that almost looks like a defect. Why don't I show you in the camera? Okay, so yeah, again, you want, oh, are you gonna focus? There you go, man, holy crap. You want the end that is less tightly wound, but if you notice that, it's got this little, come on, no, you were there, you were right there, come on. Maybe if my, wow. Okay, oh, it was there. It looks like they added something in here, extra material. I don't know why, but they did. It might wrap funny, but anyways, interesting. The things you find when you open a pack of strings. to me, that is not something I can recall ever having seen. So I wonder if that was just a little repair job. Okay, well. Maybe I got some defective strings. Whatevs. Okay. Cue the fast motion. And we're back. Oh, super speed. Okay. Close. Perfect. Okay, I'm just stretcheroo. Oh, that sounded awful. Sorry. Not in tune. So to the uninitiated, what I was doing there is tuning by harmonics. So if you put your finger over the 5th fret, the end of the 5th fret, and not actually fret it, but instead just hold your finger just over the fret wire itself, you could make that noise. And if you do the same thing on the 7th fret of the next string down, for most strings, not all, the B string is the funny one, but those should resonate harmonically, harmoniously. That's the word. Now, side note, anybody that went to school with me probably didn't like me that much, because I used to sit in the cafeteria and play metal on my classical, and people friggin' hated that. What can I say? I like metal. Sorry. We are pretty close on those 3. So now it's time to hit the trebles. All right. Enter lame, terrible jokes. All right. Now we're hitting the trebles, and there's a couple things to note on these guys. Savarez are going to be a bit different than the rest. They actually mark things like those wrappings that are a little different on the one end, and so on and so forth. You'll notice something a little different on these as well. This is the G string, and what just does? Oh, no, it's not. If I did a G string, I would be angry. It is actually the E string. This one right here, right here. Here we go. Here we go. All right, this one. The reason I want to start with this one is because what I mentioned earlier. I want this to be the string that ends up yoink right here. So as a result, let me get that out of the glare. Oh boy, okay, yeah, right here, this guy. So as a result, that's supposed to be the E string, because if I put this one on, then I would have a hard time getting the string into here and the string into here. Know what I mean? So we're gonna do the E. Now, what Savarez does is this here. Can you see that? No. I guess Sony autofocus isn't perfect, is it? Maybe I should just stick with Olympus. Anyways, can you see that? Is it working? No? All right, let me get my finger in there and you'll be able to focus on that sucker. So there's actually two ends here. Let me just hold them both in frame, maybe. Can you, yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh, mint. Okay, so you see one of them is blue, dark blue, and the other one, you can even see that. Maybe on the, with my face as a backer, you can see it's blue. And then the other one's just clear. So the clear end goes up at the top, the blue one goes down here. Doesn't really matter. But there's a reason why the blue is on there. And I will show you why. Uno momento. Okay, blue. This does rub off very easily, by the way. So if you want the blue on there, try not to like play with it too much. Okay. Now, can we see this? Can we see? Can we see? We can see up there. Let me do that. Okay. So we're gonna go true there. And we are gonna go and wrap it around. Now with this one especially, it's such a skinny string, it will slip super easy. So we really have to wrap this 3 times. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go like so. You see the blue over here, right? A little blue. Now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna go through like so, and do it again. So I'm gonna, just like that, I got one loop. I'm gonna do a second loop. And I'm gonna do a third loop. It doesn't really matter what happens in this other part. I could do this, you know, whatever, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna do a third loop. And the third loop is important, because without it, we ain't got nothing. That's 2. Okay, so I need the third one. Third loop, okay. 3 is important or it will likely slip. So I grab this and that's a little far. I don't really like that. No, not a fan. So I'm just gonna push that back so we have something along the lines of that. And coincidentally, what will happen here is because I have 3 loops, I might even have 4. 3 or 4, anyways. More than two, okay? So, yeah, and what ends up happening is, again, the strings meet for the final time back over here on the vertical part. As a result, this sucker is gonna stay. It's not gonna pull out, okay? So, there she be. Now, we're gonna get this guy going through here. And this one, oh, oops. This one's very important that it goes through the hole twice. If it does not, you will curse a lot. Okay, so I have it like this. We want to wrap quite a bit of string on too, because this one likes to slip more than any of them. So we just simply take, you can see, you probably can't see it because the string's so thin. I'm gonna take this one, the bare end, and I'm gonna slide it through the hole again. Same thing I did on those other ones. The only one I skipped on was just a low E, but again, it doesn't in my experience, I don't think I've ever really had one slip, so it's all good. So we go like so. I pull from both sides, get it nice and tight. Then we go like so. I'll have it so it starts on the outside, then goes over to the inside. And we want it to wrap this way. For the first little bit, I tend to do it by hand, and then I'll grab the string winder shortly thereafter. So it's on the outside. Now I'm gonna pull it over to the inside on the empty part, and then by the time I get around to the hole again, now I'm on the inside of those previous strings. I will see if it's possible to view that in the Sony cam. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. We'll try it. Can you see what's going on there? Maybe? Maybe, okay. Good enough, I tried. If you can't see it, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have a macro lens, my apologies. So, and now I'm gonna grab this sucker and wrap. The only thing that gets tedious sometimes, you can see that, sometimes the string that goes through the hole kind of wants to get in your way. So get it out of your way. I can just see it now. All the people who watch this video are gonna be like, where's your accent from? I'm gonna be like, yes boy, I'm from Thunder Bay, right? Which is a little known part of Newfoundland. No, just kidding. Nah, it's way up into north. And yeah, we got our own little thing going on up here. But whatevs. I'll do me and you do you. Alright, and I am almost there. Just this evening did a little video clip with Mr. Brian Bauer. It's pretty cool. It'll be something that you might even see before this video comes out. I mean, chances are, maybe if you watch this channel, you might watch this channel too. You might just stumble across my channel and have nothing to do with Brian Bauer, but if not, go check him out too. And while I'm on the topic of shoutouts, I might as well shout out Mr. Newfoundland himself, Mark Joseph Bennett, which I will say has been very helpful to this channel and to my future channels. And yeah, he's a funny comedian. He's from, well, the Goulds in Newfoundland. And yeah, he's got a cool podcast too. It's called I Said Shut Up, Mark Bennett. And yeah, go check that out too. I'm just full of all these shoutouts today, aren't I? Maybe because the content's so bad here, you have to go there instead. Anyways, all right, so not quite concert pitch yet. Side note, these are getting super annoying. So I'm gonna take the low strings and cut these off. Ooh, that didn't quite wrap properly. And actually, I will do another shout out too to Mr. Bernie Hippos, who also has a camera channel, much like Mr. Mark Bennett, and stumbled across that one fairly recently. And Bernie's got some cool videos. One of the cooler videos I've seen recently, he showed me exactly how to tweak out that camera right there, the Sony ZV-1. And so thank you for that. And yeah, settings are great. I think it looks pretty good. So yeah, lots of help all around. Be nice if I could help somebody someday, but for now, I'll just watch too much YouTube and get help from other people. Oh, sounds mint. Okay, and I'll give a good stretch. And when you stretch like that, you'll know if you screwed up on the other end and it doesn't, if you can pull like that and it doesn't slip off, you're good to go. Don't be shy with it. Just give it a good pull. And don't take that the wrong way. I'm talking about the guitar string on the guitar. Bye. Almost there. You wouldn't even miss the strings in the middle. So you get the feeling that, yeah, it does take a while to stretch these things in. The skinnier the string or the slipperier the string, because these trebles are pretty slippery strings. It goes flat for a while. One of my favorite sayings is, play the tuning song, asshole. And yeah, I'm going to need to do that for a little while. Anyways, moving on. I'm gonna go through fast motion because, well, you guys are probably bored as hell by now. But I'm gonna continue to show you how to do it properly, and very shortly, I'll show you what happens when you do it wrong. Yeah. It's exciting, but yeah, it's important to do it the way I'm suggesting. If you don't, I'll show you why shortly. And oh, how can I not do this? Come on, look at that. Oh, mint. That's the string I'm putting on there, boys. B. All right. Again, we got our blue bit up there. You see that? Maybe, sort of, kind of, maybe, I don't know. Hopefully, okay, good enough. And yeah, cue the sped up thing. Okay, and we have a 5-string guitar. Holy crap, we're getting there. So again, give a good dirty pull on that. Oh, she's got lots of tension. Oh. That one's actually starting to grab already a little bit. Not that one. Okay, especially with classical guitars, you don't really get to set the intonation. It kind of is what it is. So hopefully the luthier had a good idea how to set it up and it hasn't warped too much. And if that's the case, well, you might have a reasonably intonating guitar. Either way, it's best to tune in intervals, I find, anyways, because, I don't know, it'll never really be perfectly in tune. You're always tweaking just a little. So what I find is, now I've got these bottom three basically in tune, not quite, but close. And to tune the B string down there, which is obviously grossly out of tune, I actually hit the B up here, second fret of the fifth string, the A string. And you want those to ring harmoniously. Side note, if you hadn't already learned it previously, it's very important when tuning, especially a stringed instrument like this. The same actually goes for violin, cello, double bass, that kind of idea, that you really need to tune up and into the note as opposed to, oh, I'm a little sharp, and just turn it down a little. It always has a tendency to slip just a little bit. So if you tune up to the note, which in fact is really what you want to do with singing as well, which is interesting. But if you tune up to the note, there's no tendency to slip, because as you start turning it up, any tendency to slip goes away as the pitch moves upwards. Just a little tip for you there. So watch how out of tune still this is. But what I always do is, you notice, I'll go down and back up again. When it's really close. When you know you can go up a fair bit, just start turning up. But that other note, it's missing something, you know? Okay, and on to the final string, and the string, we're going to show you why you have to do it in a very specific way. So yeah, let's move on to the G string. All right, let the fun begin. Yet again, we have a blue and a clear end. Oh yeah, and if it's on my face, you can see it. Anyways, again, I like to put the blue end down, Really the reason for the blue end being down that way is just that it makes it really easy to see when you're tying it around, because you have to wrap it around a certain number of times, or useful number of times. Okay, so back up to that camera angle. Okay, we're gonna go true there. Okay, and after a replaced battery, settings look good. We should be good. Okay, now I can resume. Did that get shifted somehow? No, I maneuvered the, yeah, okay, that's fine. Don't even worry about it. We're going up to that camera anyways. Don't even worry about it. Okay. So, I'm gonna start wrapping this around. One wrap. Two wraps. And you know what? I'm just gonna leave it like that. Now, just gonna get it nice and tight. Okay, so I'm just gonna illustrate something here. As I get this on here, I just hope you can see it. So, looking carefully at the third string from the bottom, see there's two wraps, and where it actually meets is on the horizontal. Dun dun dun. Okay, it meets on the horizontal. Can anybody guess what might happen? I've only alluded to it, I don't know, a dozen times in my tedium. Okay, so we're gonna go true there. We're gonna go up here. We're gonna go through here. I could show you what happens on this end if you don't go through. Nah, I don't really want to. Just suffice it to say, if you skip this step of the extra loop, it's gonna suck. Okay. So now, I'm gonna wrap the way I normally do. Just gonna go around the outside. Gonna go around the string there. Maybe you can see on this camera, probably not. Probably not, my hand's right in the way. Then I'm gonna go to the inside, and I'm also going to try to tidy this up a little. It looks a little loose. Do a little pull on that one. We're good. And we switch over to the inside. And we go like that. And I'll keep wrapping it on there. We're getting close to where it'll actually make a sound. Oh. Oh, it makes a sound, look at that. All right, now, tighten it a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna give it a bit of a pull. Doesn't quite seem to be sitting exactly where it was. Starting to get some tension on her. Starting to get some tension. It may not actually slip. It's supposed to. What a terrible demo, you know? Is that actually gonna stay in there? Well, you know what? Let us, yeah. It shouldn't slide like that. Give a bit of a pull again here. Okay. It's basically hanging on by a thread. But I mean, I gave a little push last time and it almost fell out. Maybe these strings are a little tougher than I give them credit for. But suffice it to say, I've had issues. If you don't wrap it enough times, it just won't stay. There you go. That's what was supposed to happen. Okay, so it slipped off. Now these other ones here, they're not moving at all. There's absolutely no way they could slip off. This one, there was. Now granted, I had to cheat the system a little bit, but we'll ignore that. The whole point being that it actually did slip. The other ones, not even close. And it's simply because, like I've been saying the whole video, when the last loop is made where the string going underneath meets the string going over top on the vertical plane, it absolutely cannot slip. Like, not even a remote possibility. And this is going to be a pain, of course. So now I'll try to get this through here and I'll try to wrap it 3 times. No. And we got to loosen it a lot more. Ooh, wrong way. So even though I had to put a little bit extra force on it, that would have eventually happened anyways. So I'm happy to just preempt all that, and now I can do it properly the first time. And properly will look like this. Like this. Okay. So underneath, we'll go through there 1 time. 2 times. I probably could have disabled audio on my computer. Would have been a good idea. So now I've got 2 wraps on there. We'll go a third. We'll go a third. And we'll give it a pull. And now where that meets is going to be back on this vertical surface. And I'll give a good pull. And that looks like a monkey's arse. There it is. And the blue is completely worn off. But I was able to use it for what I needed it for. Now, there's absolutely no way that thing's coming off of there. Okay. Now on to a successful wrap. Outside, bring it over to the inside, and then on the inside, just got to make sure we stay on the inside of the string that's coming through the hole. There we go. You probably can't see this on any camera angle, but you can just listen to the sounds of my voice. This will not be an ASMR channel, just saying. That's just weird. Okay, now this string is probably stretched pretty good because I gave it a pretty good pull previously. Becomes difficult to tune the treble strings just to each other initially because they are slipping so much at the beginning. The wound strings get a lot closer to concert pitch and stay there. You can see this continues to go up. And like I said, then I do, I'll hit the B. So what I do for the G string, I'll hit the G on the low E string. And now we have a reasonably well-tuned guitar. To having them tuned in the way and strung in the way that they're strung, like I said, with the high E, then the B, then the G, in that order as you're going along. The G doesn't need to stretch as much as the B and the E do, so by putting them on in that order and actually getting them to pitch roughly and stretching them well, by the time you get to the stage that I'm at, it's not quite in tune, but it's not too far off and it's not drifting a lot. It's not ready to play yet. You can't just jump out and play a concert, you know, but I'm getting there. You can hear the B and the E are pretty close. The G is the only one that's tending to drift a little. And then the next step is to just play and get the wrong note. screwed it up. Song, asshole. Stupid G string. That's okay. The next part. Practice. And on that note, the wrong note, the last note, we're done with this video. So, hope you enjoyed restringing your classical guitar with a little bit of a jam along. And of course, cut these bad boys off. You don't want them all flopping around like that. That just looks gnarly, dude. But yeah, so cut those babies off. Stretch it a little bit more. It's almost there though. So that gives you a feel for not only the process, also what to expect in actually getting it back to being a functioning guitar again. So classical is a bit unique. It's not quite the same as playing electric. You don't just plug her in and crank her up. You actually need to make the sound with your good old fingers. So yeah, I'm going to experiment a little bit with nails as well. There's a YouTuber named Brandon Acker who is experimenting a lot right now with no nails or short nails. And I've had nails for all my classical playing. I'm curious to see what that might do. But I'm tired, you know? It's been a long day. It's like probably, I don't know, 2 in the morning. Anyways, on that note, have a great day, morning, evening, whenever you're watching this video. And peace.